And so it really is great to be here on International Day for Street Children to talk about these issues. I found the discussion today fascinating, and it's raised a lot of issues that we see replicated in countries around the world. These are struggles that governments across the world are dealing with, and we know how difficult they are. So I really appreciate the effort and the time that so many people have put into this conversation. We know from experience that the interventions that are based on child rights principles do work, and it's so great to hear commitment to those areas today. It's also great to hear the focus on the SDGs that's come through, the Sustainable Development Goals. The UN Human Rights Council recently held a discussion on child rights and the Sustainable Development Goals. And for the first time ever, a street child from Uganda spoke on the panel alongside the Executive Director of UNICEF. And so that's just a sign of the ways that street children are raising up on the global agenda, which is really exciting for us. So I just wanted to touch on a few points that I've heard in the discussion today, but then hand back to you who are much more knowledgeable on the situation in Pakistan. So the first thing that's come up a lot is criminalisation, which again is something that we see as an issue for so many organisations that we support and the children that they work with, particularly the criminalisation of status offences. We know from the UN's general comment that the criminalisation of status offences doesn't serve a purpose in terms of the rights of that child. Often it criminalises survival behaviour, which children couldn't live without. And so it's something that we've worked very hard to support civil society to advocate against in many countries. So it's great to hear from so many of you. And look, I've been reading the chat really closely on that. The second point is coordination between actors, and this event is such a great start for that. It's something that some of the speakers, I know Shireen raised it earlier, on the need for government to work together with civil society and for actors not to work in isolation. And in our experience, this is the key. That coordination is the way that we can ensure that these children don't fall through the cracks. A holistic approach that includes families, I know that's come through a lot in the chat, includes the police, includes different ministries, includes teachers, social workers, all of those actors is the best way to make long-term change. If we kind of act single-handedly, one at a time, that change is never going to be as deep as we need it to be to make that change.